What's up, everybody? My name is Ron Amos, and welcome back to Less Pressure Podcast. It is 2023 now, which is so crazy. This is going to be the first episode of 2023. There was no episode last week, unfortunately. Last week was a bit of a crazy one for me emotionally and just in my personal life. I had a lot going on, so I kind of just needed a break from the podcast. And I'm a firm believer in taking time for yourself, taking those breaks that you need when you need them, and just, not pushing yourself to do things that you're not ready to do in the moment. This is why this podcast is called Less Pressure, because I can't pressure myself or force myself to do things that I'm just not naturally in the right space to do. So I took a little break, set up the new year with some rest and things like that. My new year this year for the first time was not like any other new year that I've ever had. I usually spend it either, I used to go out sometimes, or I would go hang out with friends or go hang out with family or do some kind of get together. But this year I chose to stay home because I just was not in a space to just be around a bunch of different people. So I kind of took the night to just go to sleep. I was kind of awake for a while. I was watching like the New Year's countdown and everything, like live stream on my computer. And I was like laying in bed watching it. But then I kind of got tired, so I was like, do I stay up and watch the countdown, or do I just go to bed? And I was like, I kind of want to just go to bed. So that's what I did. I went to bed around 11 p.m. And I think at midnight I woke up because I heard like gunshots or fireworks. I thought it was gunshots. It could have been fireworks, but it sounded more like gunshots. So I woke up to that like loud noise around midnight, because that's when the ball dropped, I guess. And so everyone was going crazy at that time. But yeah, I kind of missed it. I didn't really stay up for it, and then I went to sleep. And then I woke up, and it was 2023. And this year for me was a roller coaster. It was a very up and down situation. It was very, it was a challenging one. It was definitely not the easiest, more discomfort than a lot of other years that I've had. And I was so ready to just write 2022 off as a bad year just because of how it felt sometimes and how I wasn't always on top of everything like I wanted to be, or I just didn't feel like I was in a comfortable position in my life where I could just, do whatever I wanted, however I wanted. But at the same time I was, but I just felt more, I felt different 2022 for sure. And so I chose to not write it off as a bad year, because I do always journal and I always reflect at the end of the year, and I was looking at all the things that I wrote down that I was able to do in 2022, and the list was just so long. I accomplished so many things. I traveled. I got to see some of my favorite artists in concert. I got to do a lot of cool projects. I got to, do some acting. Got to do a lot of dance gigs. Got to just do a lot of cool things and experience a lot of cool things. Got to do a lot of cool photo shoots, and just I had a pretty fulfilling year last year. So I just didn't want to write it off as a bad year because of how it felt sometimes. Looking back at that year, it was a beautiful year, full of a lot of abundance and things like that. So I just can't write 2022 off as a bad year, because it was pretty good. It was just a little challenging than some of the other years that have occurred in my life. But going into this new year, and then I didn't even do a recap like I did last year. I usually like everyone does, make a little TikTok or a reel of like some of the highlights of my moments. But this year I just didn't do it. And also my cell phone broke maybe like a week before. And so a lot of my footage and things that I had saved was in my old phone, and my screen broke, so I couldn't even use it, or I couldn't get the footage to my other phone. It took a whole process, and I just didn't feel like doing all that stuff. So kind of just let it be what it is. I still have my highlights on my story on Instagram, so I can kind of see my highlights there. But yeah, I just kind of didn't do that this year. But going into this new year, I have goals, as I always do, but I usually have more of a understanding of how I think that I want the year to play out. Last year specifically, my whole mindset was just taking risk and trying to put myself in outside of my comfort zone, and that's something that I did. This year, I'm still kind of feeling the energy of last year, so I really don't know where I'm going to end up this year. And I think that what I'm going to do is just allow this year to take place in an organic manner. I'm not going to force anything. And yes, obviously I have goals like I do every year. I have things that I want to obtain and accomplish, but I'm putting less pressure on this year. I'm going to let this year occur. I'm going to let this year happen. And I'm not going to try to put anything where it doesn't belong. I'm going to allow this year to take place, and I'm going to experience it, and I'm going to exist in it. I also want to be very present with it. So however this year takes place, I really don't have I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'll know at the end of the year when it starts to come to a close, whether that's something that I want to continue doing going forward or not. Now, I said in a previous podcast about how 2021 was the best year of my life. And that was such a healing year for me, and so much took place. And I'm just so grateful for that year. Because I had that year, I think that it kind of prepared me for the year that I just had. I think that had I not had 2021 occur to me the way that it did, I would not ever have experienced 2022. I wouldn't have been able to sit with all the discomfort. I don't think I would have been able to experience the year the way that I experienced it. And so I'm so grateful for 2021 and how it happened. And it's something that I always think about is like, oh man, I wish that I could have 2021 back again. I wish I could redo that. I wish that I could redo it and be in that energy and be in that place again. But everything is not supposed to, or everything is not meant to happen over and over again. Some things happen and they're just supposed to be a specific time in your life. And you're supposed to take what you can from that time and move on. But it's almost like when you tell a joke and then someone says, say it again. It was so funny. And then you say it again and it's not as funny. That's almost the same thing as trying to recreate a year that you already had. I think that the best thing for me to do is just be grateful for 2021 and all the things that I had, and try to kind of take the little nuggets from it that helped me and things like that and carry them with me, but not try to recreate 2021. In 2021, I was 25. In 2023, I'll be turning 27. So I can't take my 25-year-old life into my almost 27-year-old life. I have to allow it to be what it is and learn the new lessons that I'm going to learn and kind of move on, and grow and things like that. So I know that I have a lot that I want to happen, and I want a lot to occur, but I'm just going to let it go. And I think that's the best way to go about certain situations. And I always tell people the best way to gain control is by letting go of control. And you get so much more back. And that's what I did 2021. So I guess maybe I'll try it again this year and see what happens. I do have a lot of blessings and a lot of good things and stuff like that. But I do want to make sure that I'm still being intentional about everything, and I'm still setting my goals, and I'm still paying attention to my goals, because that's one thing about me. Every new year, when I set my goals, I always pay attention to them throughout the entire year. And that's how I always end up accomplishing most of my goals. As far as the goals that I made for 2022, I accomplished, I want to say, about 80% of my goals. And I had a long list of goals. I was very intentional about staying with the things that I said I was going to stay with. And because I kind of carry my goals with me every day, and I kind of carry them with me throughout my life so that I'm always attending to them. So right now, I think that I'm going to just definitely revisit my goals. I want to see if I can pull them up. I don't think I'm going to read them out loud, but I do think that I want to revisit them just real quick. So just give me a second. Right now, I'm trying to pull up my goals that I wrote down in 2023. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think I can. I'll read some of these. I'm not gonna read all of them, but I'm just gonna touch on some of them. In 2023, I want to meet new people. I think that I'm a very friendly person, but I don't go out of my way to meet people. If I'm in a room with people, I'll shake hands and I'll introduce myself and things like that. But I kind of want to welcome more people into my life, if that makes sense. I kind of want to be more open to more individuals being a part of my life. And I'm not saying that I have to get 3 friends by the end of the year. I'm not saying that, but I just want to be open to meeting more souls and things like that. So I just want to I want to connect more with people. So definitely looking forward to meeting some new people. Now, another one that I have on this list is moving to a new home. Now, I've been in my apartment that I'm in right now since July of 2021. And this apartment was one of my goals for 2021, and I ended up obtaining it very fast. And so I think that I'm outgrowing this. I don't want to say I'm outgrowing it, because I don't think that I'm outgrowing it, but I think that I deserve more. My spirit tells me that I deserve a better home than this. I feel like that this home has served its purpose and it's done what it's needed to do for me in my life. But now I think that I'm deserving of an even better home. And no matter what I have to do to get it, I think that I'm going to just try to go for something more. I deserve something more than what I have right now. This is a great place to start me off, and it was a great first apartment, but now I think that I'm ready to expand myself into a different space and just start a new journey somewhere else. Maybe even the same neighborhood, but I'd like a different 4 walls to be in. Another one is listen more. I want to listen more. I want to be more. Now, this is something that I already do, but I find that even though I listen sometimes, my ego is still in there. And so I'm not fully listening to be a good listener, if that makes sense. I think sometimes I listen to people just to say that I'm listening to people, and I don't listen to them to understand and fully immerse myself in what they're saying. So I kind of want to be a better listener in 2023. Just listen more and just not always feel like I have to say something right after or offer advice. I think that now I just want to be an ear, and I want to soak in everything that I'm being given. So that's another one. Another one that I put is return to myself. I want to return to myself in 2023. What do I mean by that? What I mean by returning to myself is I feel like in this past year, I feel like I've allowed the inspiration of others to inspire me so much to the point where I was trying to become my inspirations instead of becoming myself and being inspired by them. I think that it's okay and a beautiful thing to be inspired by people, but you don't have to be the people that you are being inspired by. Because a lot of the times for me, I'm inspired by people that are different than me, that are complete opposites of me. I am inspired by them because it's something that I am not used to, and I'm not, I just have an appreciation for things that are different. And so sometimes what happens is it's almost, maybe it could be like a thing of not really like appreciating yourself, but to try to become someone else is almost to like reject yourself, I feel like. And so I think that I want to learn how to be more of myself, or return to myself in the way that I've done in past years, because I've definitely kind of strayed away a little bit, and I want to kind of get back to being me, and fully feeling like me, and just feeling like me all the time, Okay, so let's maybe do one more. Okay, this is a good one. I'm gonna go with this one. I want to try to not focus on how I'm being perceived. This one is just like, this is a life goal right here, just to not allow the perception of yourself to dictate how you're living. I feel like we're all characters in other people's lives, and we all want our character to be portrayed in a specific way and be received in a specific way. But that's not our responsibility, and that's not our job. Our job is to be authentically ourselves and show up how we show up, and not worry about what's going on in the other people's lenses. Just focus on how we're feeling within ourselves and things like that. And so I do think that another goal of mine is just to be less aware of how I'm being perceived and stop caring as much. But this one is a hard one, I think, for everyone, to just not focus on that, because how could you not? It's like we're all playing these characters, and we all just want to control the narrative of everything. And sometimes you don't have to control the narrative. Sometimes you can just let people think what they're going to think and make up what they're going to make up, or see you how they want to see you. But that does not mean that it has to take anything away from yourself. And that is something that I want to really drill into my own brain, because it is not my responsibility to control how I'm being perceived by others. So, and a lot of the time I feel like I'm used to being perceived in a good light. And so I always just want to maintain that positive image that I think that I'm being perceived in all the time. And it creates a sort of anxiety, because you're trying to like keep an image that you think that you have, that you don't even really know that's the image that you actually have, but you assume these things. And so, yeah, I think I want to just let go of thinking that I have this perfect image in everyone's brain, and just allow myself to let go a little bit more, and just really just soak in the essence of who I am, just not have to worry about the way that I look and things like that, or how I'm being received in other people's brains, because it really doesn't matter. And that's a hard thing to fully understand. You can understand it, but to feel it, it's a different thing. So I just want to make sure that this year that's something that I'm taking care of, is just not doing that. So yeah, those are a few of my goals for this year. And I kind of just want to make sure that even though this year has just started, I just want to make sure that I'm not pressuring myself in any kind of ways. I'm being honest to myself, being honest with myself, and I'm, just doing what's best for me and my well-being, my mental health, and all those things. And yeah, I also want to continue therapy this year too, because the wonders that it's done for me is just, it's incredible. So I just want to make sure I'm staying up to par with my mental health and things like that. So yeah, I just really hope that if you take anything away from this podcast today, it's just that it's okay. Like, no matter what you're going through, what you're dealing with, what life has right now for you, like, it is okay. It is 100% okay. You don't have to walk into the new year feeling 100% because everyone else is, and everyone else is posting their big accomplishments from last year, and everyone's just setting these these tones for themselves, and you might see people in the gym saying, "Oh, I'm starting off the year in the gym." Like, allow them to be that and allow them to do what they're doing. Don't knock them down. Don't take away from them, but also don't feel like you have to be in that same space as them. Where you are is valid, and you don't have to adjust yourself for any social standard or anything like that. You can just be where you are and be there as long as you need to be. Where I am right now it's where I am, and so I'm gonna be here, and I'm gonna take up space in this place right now. I'm gonna take up all the space that I need to, because this is where I am. And I'm going to come back when I'm ready to come back, and I'm going to do what I need to do when I feel like I need to do it. But right now, this is just my space where I'm in, and I just want to stay here for as long as I need to. So, I kind of got to let you guys go because I have to get ready. I have to perform tonight. So, I got to go start getting ready for that. I want to thank you guys for listening. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. I know this is still a new podcast, and we're still growing the community, but it really means a lot that you lend me your ear every week and you care enough to listen, and that if you take something away from this, I'm just glad that you're open to hearing me. So I appreciate you all. Please follow the podcast and all the social media links in the description. Please leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Please leave a rating, please comment your rating as well. Leave me some feedback. If you want to hit me up on Instagram, that's also in the description. My Instagram is @Ron_Amos. That's @RON_AMOS_ on Instagram. So you can hit me up through there. And hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you later. Bye.